right, we're live. Let's start with beating the demon again. Start with a little white pill on Thursday.
There's not a whole lot of people like
Not white pill, but just get fired up.
I love that phrase, uncommon amongst uncommon men, because it's such a good phrase because it just shows you've been on this path for so long and you're grinding for so long, but you're also honest about there's moments where you don't want to fucking do this, which is why it's so interesting because you do it. Right. You do it without any reservation. You just go through it. You don't fucking shit, but you always do. But that's what people need to hear because they feel like that somewhere out there there's some superhuman person who never feels despair, doesn't have any. There's no hesitation. So they feel like there's this person that's so different than them, that's so much stronger than them, and doesn't ever have any procrastination. And you're like, that's not me. No. I love that phrase you told me once ago. Sometimes I look at my fucking shoes for half an hour before I put those bitches on. It's a true statement.
But what I do, man, is I came with this thing called performing our purpose. And so many people, they need to have a 5K, a 10K. I need to have a core in front of me. I need to have something in front of me so we get my fucking ass up and do some shit. And that used to be me. And nowadays, for the past 27 years, I don't need fucking purpose. And people miss out on this, man. Purpose. We're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? The fucking purpose is you. We forget that. Every fucking day I wake up, I don't want to do some fucking shit. Okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? So I make this perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do shit. You ain't got no fucking 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life fucking sucks. You're in a fucking dungeon.
In the dungeon. You're still ready, babies.
The time is gonna come. When that purpose is there, you'll be ready.
You ready?
But most of us fucking aren't ready because we don't know how to do without having the golden carrot in front of us.
Yeah.
And so you're all fucked.
There's also this thing where if you do it, once it's over, you get a break. Like that's what a 10K is. That's what a marathon is. I'm going to train for this marathon. And you're training for that big day, but you're also recognizing when that marathon's over.
That's right. That's right. And as you get better at that moment, the moment becomes less and less. So my moments now are like, I ran today, I went to the gym today, I did this and this and that, I did that. About 8 hours. And those 8 hours are glorious to me. And every day you go back out and you start earning. And every day you wake up, it sucks. When it's over, you feel better. It sucks, you feel better. And as you get going, every step you take in that journey that you're like, for me, I run every day. I fucking hate it. But every step I take, around the world now, back again. Who's been asking about me? Young Carter, go farther, go further, go harder. Is that not why we came? If not, then why bother? Show no mercy.
Bo Nickel was here. He said you guys had a little bit of a wrestling match. And so how'd that go?
It wasn't a wrestling match. Bo is young.
Let me get. This is it. All right. So we started off hot. Somebody just knocked at my door. Hold on. Fuck. All right. All right. So now let's get into the more Clown World stuff. So we're living the Khabib life. That's what we just saw. Right here, beating
not a
Demi
whole
in.
lot.
So my arm movements now are like, oh, I ran today, I went to the gym today, I did this and this today, I studied today. About 8 hours to move. And those 8 hours are glorious to me. And every day you go back out and you start earning. And every day you wake up, it sucks. And when it's over, you feel better. It sucks, you feel better. And as you get going, every step you take in that journey that you're like, for me, I run every day. I fucking hate it.
So we're Khabibing. Meanwhile, just listen to this.
Have you ever cheated before?
Not with another human.
What do you mean?
I cheated on my boyfriend with his dog. It was a golden retriever.
I mean, how did your boyfriend find out?
He opened the door and I was in the doggy position with his doggy.
Oh, okay. Oh, you crazy.
Have you ever?
Now, I hope this is like just a staged thing, but I don't know. We're in Moloch paradise if this is really happening. If she's really getting. That's. Let's see what the comments say. Golden Retriever. Your dog is cute. Human. Yeah, I mean, bestiality is kind of the Moloch paradise. I think it's over once we get there. She says it all. She says it like it's normal. And she's proud of it. What the fuck? Yeah, that makes you think it's staged. I don't know. Always the golden retrievers. Yeah, that's weird. It's super weird. But this Scott Adams, I did a thing the other day about him getting in some hot water for making some comments about just making comments about a survey that was done, and it polled that 53% of the black people who answered the poll said that it's not okay to be white. And so he responded with, his response that, under that assumption that white people should, watch their step and watch where they go and that sort of thing. And, stick to homogenous neighborhoods for the most part, because 53% of other populations don't think it's okay to be born pale or who you're born as. So that's what he said. Not what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with him, but YouTube don't knock me for misspeaking. I'm saying what the point Scott Adams was making. And so that's all I'm trying to explain here. Hands up, don't shoot. You know what I'm saying? Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot. Don't censor me, please. That is becoming a meme of this. So I'm just seeing, like, there'll be a post like this post, which.
In the store, oh my God. Look, we over there fighting. In the store.
Looks like a mass looting of a 7-Eleven. There's one right there. You saw that right there? There's one. like, yeah, let's go. My mask off. You're the only one who's gonna get caught, though. Please show up. And then, so on all videos of this ilk are just a bunch of Scott Adams pictures like this. I like this. Which I think is hilarious. It's definitely becoming a meme. And that is, I think, the most enjoyable part of those videos. It's just immediately going into the comments and seeing these. Don't ask me, oh, it's funny, but it is. The Cannabis Patriot tweets, "We criminalized hemp for an entire century, then we complain we have climate change." And then it's a screenshot of like a information, lancasterfarming.com. Though all plants have the ability to sequester carbon, hemp functions at a higher rate than many plants. Every acre of hemp can potentially store 2 to 3 tons of carbon in the soil. Dobson said if you multiply that by 3.68, an acre of hemp can, or 3.67, sorry. An acre of hemp can potentially remove 7.34 to 11.01 tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere annually. Yes. And I've done a video on this before. Hemp seed oil is the wave. It's, if you want to talk about things beside your traditional petroleum, hemp seed oil is a great oil as well. It's it would obviously still need internally combustion engines to operate, but you can put it in a diesel engine, and a diesel engine will run off of it. Henry Ford originally wanted all his cars to run off of hemp oil, and it was really the Rockefellers that came in and monopolized the energy industry for petroleum, and so I think there's a lot of other good oils out there, just like this hemp oil. Like hemp, we see is a carbon sequester, and it also is a soil remediator. So it takes out a lot of heavy metals from soil, and then carbon sequestration. People think, obviously that takes some out of the atmosphere, but some of the great effects that you get in the soil is the organic content of the soil is increased exponentially. A lot of soil content in the United States now is at like 1% or 0.5% of organic content, and back in the like black gold days when we had tobacco farms all over the place and that sort of thing, the organic content was typically around 8%, and you can get there through hemp. You can get there through some permaculture farming methods and no-till farming methods. Doing a combination of those is, I think the way you can get. Is how you're going to get. I mean, you can get massive innovation by opening up that industry, allowing for it to be not just a recreational drug industry, but I mean, you have that farm bill, but there's still a lot of um, hesitation around it because it's just a questionable plant and can get you, um, you know, side eyes for just having hemp and using it as an energy source and as a carbon sequester and that sort of thing. Um, so, anyways, hemp is an extremely um, advantageous plant to have in the mix, um, especially with all the farm fertilizer runoff and that sort of thing that we have going into, our waterways and our rivers and aquifers underwater, and getting us a lot of um, we've heard about the azotrine, the glyphosate, um, you know, all the pesticides that the the various pesticides and herbicides and um, fertilizers that get off into the waterways that have a lot of estrogenic effects. They cause intersex mutations in frogs, as well as you know causing algae blooms, that sort of thing. So you can cut down on that with this hemp, and you can get energy and oil out of it as well. And so it's it's a great plant. Like I was saying, can't lose with this one. But it's hated on, obviously, because it's promoted as a recreational drug only, and you know you had the William Henry Hearst new newspaper problem. I mean, he essentially was the one who propagandized hemp into being made illegal, uh, because he saw it as competition to his paper mills for newspapers, and so we got the reefer madness and all that sort of thing from that. But anyways, moving on to the attacks in Russia. There's a cross-border terror attack on Russia, involved dozens of armed saboteurs attacking villages. Sounds like Operation Gladio, or something where we use you know CIA trained guerrilla units, small guerrilla units, to terrorize uh, many different small areas at the same time, um, to create massive unrest and um, hopefully division and potentially revolution within the country of Russia, I think, is the goal. And so you see the cross-border terror attack. The Kremlin has condemned what it called a new terrorist attack on its soil Thursday, carried out by Ukrainian saboteurs who allegedly breached a border region. Ukrainian saboteurs trained by CIA. Russian presidency spokesman Dmitry Peskov said militants entered the Bryansk Oblast in western Russia and attacked villages there, resulting in the death of one civilian and one other wounded. This is an attack by terrorists, Peskov says. Conflicting initial reports indicated Russia's Federal Security Service engaged in a gun battle with the infiltrators, with the Kremlin saying measures are currently underway to eliminate these terrorists. The Associated Press described on national media that TASS, citing Russian, I probably shouldn't say Russian. It's probably going to get me dinged on some sort of blacklist. Some sort of Russian law enforcement reported earlier that the saboteurs were holding up to 6 people hostage. The local governor said the group had fired on a vehicle there, killing 1 man and wounding a 10-year-old. AP continues. The report details further. Thursday, apparent incursion was also embarrassing for Russia President Vladimir Putin, coming days after he ordered Federal Security Service to tighten controls on Russia's border with Ukraine. TASS reported, citing an unnamed official, 2 villages in the Brest region, Sasani and Lyubekane, were under attack by several dozen armed fighters. Alexander Bogomaz, the governor of the Bryansk region, which borders Ukraine, said the group fired on a vehicle in Lyubrenkench. Wow, that's terrible pronunciation. Killing 1 man and wounding a child. He also said that a Ukrainian drone struck a house in the Sasani, setting it ablaze. Multiple war monitoring accounts have picked up on below video, which is widely being flagged as showing one of the alleged attackers.
Ну что ж, друзья, вот и свершилось. Русский добровольческий корпус перешел в государственную границу. Мы не воюем с гражданскими, не убиваем безоружных. Имейте это в виду. Теперь пришло время обычным гражданам России понять.
They opened fire on civilians. They saw that there were children in the car, Putin said. Putin called what happened today a terrorist attack.
Сегодня совершили очередной террористический акт по...
No subtitles. The incident comes after Monday, a series of drone attacks on Russian facilities. I believe it was the oil facilities. Believed launched by Ukrainians triggered air alert sirens in various locations across the country. 1 or more even breached within 100 km of Moscow. Concerning the drone attacks, Russia Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs has charged that the Ukrainians had covert help from the United States in carrying out the sophisticated drone operations, one of which damaged an oil facility some 500 kilometers inside Russian territory. Attack of drones on aviation facilities in Saratov and Ryazan could not have been carried out without the active assistance of the United States. So, yeah, I mean, you got the United States blowing up Nord Stream 2. That comes out that we Ukrainians, sent, I believe, some sort of drone bomb attack into Poland and blamed it on Russia. It was Ukraine. We got these terror attacks now, the drone attacks. These are all CIA support, trained, funded, and then carried out by, maybe Ukrainian nationals with some CIA guys behind the scenes. Let's see what the show comments. See what the comments are saying. That's retarded stuff. The following there is a theory and the if you're reading ZH, then it is likely you know that the U.S. is infested with globalist traders in most, if not all, high-level positions. True. This includes those who have their finger on the nuclear trigger. True. These globalists have a problem. They need a way to neuter the United States so that the citizens will have no choice but to give up all their rights and accept serfdom before these globalist criminals. Imagine if a war starts and the Ruskies nuke a few U.S. cities. These cities will contain mostly American kulaks, certainly not LA or NYC, with the tacit knowledge that the traitors running the U.S. will not retaliate. Then the Ruskies, who are led by the same ilk of globalist criminals running the U.S., give the Americans an ultimatum: either unconditional surrender or we will continue to nuke your cities that contain American kulaks. Sort of like the ultimatum given to the Japanese during World War II. What are you going to do? Call Saul? I mean, that's a little. I don't know that he would have the ability to give the ultimatum for unconditional surrender. I think there's mutually assured destruction, implementations. So I don't think there'd be nukes with no retaliation nukes. But who knows with these folks in charge, with them trying to make you accept that serfdom. The West won't stop until LGBTQ flags fly over the Kremlin and Russia becomes fully under the control of Western globo schmomo corporations and banks. Yeah, there will be nuclear war. I don't know. They're going to try to start a color revolution in Russia. See how that works out. Doubting it'll do much, but we'll see. It seems like Putin's kind of prepared for that. He's obviously got his internal security service on go mode. Woody Harrelson doubles down, slams COVID mandates. The U.S. is not a free country. Following a 30-second bit on SNL where he branded Big Pharma as a cartel forcing its drugs on people with government consent, actor Woody Harrelson has further spoken out against COVID mandates. In an interview with New York Times, Harrelson warned that, and this is a guy that he made the documentary Ethos, which is great in like 2009, I think it came out, 2010. And yeah, if you were in college then, this is a big wake up for you as far as figuring out the Fed and just common zeitgeist, or the ruling or the prevailing zeitgeist, and how that's formed and created and where the strings are and that sort of thing. Worth a watch, definitely. Ethos. I don't even know. Maybe it's banned, but it used to be on I think it used to be on Netflix, I believe. So worth a watch. Harrelson's been with it for a while. I don't know what he was doing during COVID. I didn't hear much from him, but it's good to see he's saying, going off script, even if it is fucking 3 years later. I mean, he could have been saying something 3 years ago. I don't know. In an interview with the New York Times, Harrelson warned that America is no longer a free country. Branding COVID protocols is rather absurd. Woody doubles down. When asked what was absurd about the COVID protocols, Harrelson replied, the fact that they're still going on. I don't think that anybody should have the right to demand that you're forced to do testing, forced to wear the mask, and forced to get schmaxinated 3 years on, the Zombieland star asserted. Yeah, and there's a meme from Ganoka, Substack.com. Woody Harrelson says, the biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media. Media says, Woody Harrelson spreads anti-vax, smacks conspiracies. I'm just like, let's be done with this nonsense. Harrelson continued, adding, it's not fair to the crews. I don't have to wear the mask. Why should they? Why should they have to be vaccinated? How's that not up to the individual? I shouldn't be talking about this shit. Well, it says expletive, but I'm guessing it's shit. It makes me angry for the crew. The anarchist part of me, I don't feel that we should have forced testing, forced masking, forced schmaccination. He continued, that's not a free country. Damn sure isn't, brother. Damn sure is not. We're under, we aren't free citizens. You should know that, citizen, and move forward accordingly. We're getting it back, though. That's the whole point of this. It's not just to black pill you. It's to figure out how to get your sovereignty, how to get your, ability to run your own country, run your own government, run your own life back under control and out of this social engineering, globalist, psychopath hands. Centralizing psychopath hands. That's not a free country. Really, I'm talking about the crew because you can't. Really, I'm talking about the crew because I can get out of wearing the mask. I can test less. I'm not in the same position they're in, but it's wrong. It's 3 years. Stop. Cue the Normie backlash.
So it's Saturday Night Live, which is filmed live at NBC Studios at 30 Rock on 6th Avenue, New York. The audience always applauds because they're told to. But if you watch on Saturday night, you may have noticed the studio audience that night was weirdly quiet during the end of the opening monologue. They didn't know what to do. Woody Harrelson was describing a crazy idea he'd had for a film script, an idea so wild and unlikely no one could possibly take it seriously. Here's the idea.
So the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes, and people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over. I threw the script away. I mean, who is going to believe that crazy idea? Being forced to do drugs?
Wait, did he just make fun of Pfizer? I mean, Catholic Church is one thing. The family is other, but Pfizer? Not allowed. He must be insane. And that was the verdict of the media. The Washington Post, for example, reported this, quote, on SNL, Woody Harrelson pushes COVID-19 conspiracy theory. Really? Where's the conspiracy theory there? The Daily Beast echoed that. Woody Harrelson spews anti-vax conspiracies in rambling SNL monologue. Now, Rolling Stone magazine, which was founded to fight the power, obviously came out on the side of the guy fighting the power. Oh, no, just kidding. Rolling Stone used exactly the same headline. So the same people who said you're crazy for thinking that COVID may have come from a Chinese biolab now say you're crazy if you dare to complain about Pfizer, which is buying them off. Shut up, don't laugh! Hard to think of a better way to make Woody Harrelson's point than that.
incredible stuff, really. So, Woody Harrelson's doing that. The House Republicans accused Biden White House of creating authoritarian style digital dollar. Yeah, these guys will say some wimpy worm bullshit. These little wet rags. Senate votes unanimously to declassify. I can't. I'm not gonna even that cerveza sickness. This is George Gammon would call it. They're going to declassify all that intelligence. And if you got faith in these wet rag worms, you get something else coming. Nothing. I mean, I'm sure they'll put out some fake stuff saying that they found out a couple days ago and they had no idea, and all the evidence didn't point towards anything. But 3 years ago, Alex Jones was talking about Ralph Barrick and Peter Daszak and the UNC funding for gain of schmunction research. That was 3 years ago, and that was all known. And now the Senate is going to come out a day late, a dollar short after everything's done. They're going to say that it was accidentally leaked or something instead of what it really was, which is intentionally leaked and probably not even by a Chinese person. It's probably some Eco Health Alliance connected glowy op. So I wouldn't put too much faith in old Senate voting to declassify. They're just going to declassify it with everything redacted. NBC reporter goes to Crimea, shocks viewers by telling the truth.
President Zelensky vowed on Sunday to take back Crimea. How realistic is that? If the people there whom you spoke to view themselves as Russian.
That's right. From those people that we spoke to, it seemed unrealistic. And Andrew, I want to show you some new picture that we filmed yesterday at the port of Sevastopol. Now, this is the closest that any US news crew has got to the Russian Black Sea fleet in many, many years. What you're seeing here are President Putin's ships at that port. Why it's important is because Vladimir Putin will be determined to defend that port, to not have it taken away from him. He may well do pretty much anything to try to achieve that, and the reason why is because it is so strategically important to Russia. But here's the irony: the fact that since he launched that invasion a year ago in Ukraine, Ukrainians now will be determined not to have the Black Sea fleet there, potentially threatening their coast for years to come. So it is a very, very dangerous standoff that suggests that this could pan out for some time to come. It's hard to see how you reach a negotiation over that. And there in Sevastopol, Andrew, I've got to tell you, I mean, there was just military everywhere, absolutely everywhere. It is a military town. So again, when, for example, Victoria Nuland talks about, at the very least, we want Crimea to be demilitarized, I found myself standing there and wondering, how on earth does that happen?
And Keir, we keep hearing that Crimea is exactly what NATO and the U.S. fear Zelensky will try to go into with long-range weapons, maybe even with those F-16s if he ever were to get them which I don't think he will. Not in the near term.
Jake Sullivan, for example, really worried, Andrew, and the reason why is because the idea that NATO weapons might kind of land on this place, potentially kill Russian civilians, and that would be an escalation. But by the way, this is an enormous challenge, and General Mark Milley has made this clear. This is an enormous challenge for the Ukrainians. Here's why. Let's just give you a close-up look at that bridge behind me there. That's how we travelled into Crimea. It is open now. It's only 2 ways to get here. The other is a land bridge over to the northwest of here that is very, very much exposed. So with land forces, how do you take Crimea if you are the Ukrainians? That's why General Mark Milley says he thinks that it will be extremely difficult for the Ukrainians to push the Russians out of here. We have seen substantial defences.
So basically, he went to Crimea to try and get people who were saying they wanted help from Ukraine, and he got the exact opposite. Yeah, so NBC News journalist Keir Simmons recently went to Crimea and reported that most Crimeans are pro-Russian. Now Ukraine has put him on its hit list website for reporting this fact. What does the U.S. government think about Ukraine adding NBC journalists to its hit list? NBC told Americans the truth about Crimea for the first time, and its reporter wound up on the Ukrainian government kill list alongside several other U.S. citizens, journalists, clergy, and even children. Will NBC now report on this list? Will press freedom groups denounce it? Probably not. So he found out that all these people liked Russia and wanted to stay, and it wasn't, and it didn't fit the propaganda, and he reported that, and so now he's got to be demonized. C'est la vie, am I right, guys? Anyways, East Palestine's a dirty wreck. Migraines, nausea. But FBI tampered with frame rate on the January 6th bomb footage. All the people who you're told are the good guys are the bad guys. Just know that. All the people who tell you they're doing good are up to evil, like old Chris Ray and old Merrick Garland. I mean, these guys are pure evil. Set up, fake honey traps here. Won't release video. Now they're tampering with frame rates. All in a day's work, am I right, guys? All in a day's work for these corrupt fools. So we got to get rid of the intel agencies. I'd rather have local police than any of these gigantic intel agencies. They're pure evil, subversive bureaucratic organizations that ruin any form of representative government and sovereignty, as they always entangle you in more entanglements. So that's it for today, guys. Watch the vlog. Dominate 2023 episode 4. Beating the demon again now on. Please like. Please comment. Please subscribe, guys. Working on it. Getting better every day. That's all we can do. Khabib lifestyle. See you guys. Inshallah. Oh. Alhamdulillah. Hope that's not offensive. Just trying to give a shout out to my Islamic brothers and sisters out there. Trying to keep that Khabib lifestyle going. Train hard every day. Be aware of the evil that's on the doorstep. Combat that as much as possible. But most of all, help yourself every day. You know, pray. Be grateful, and like they say in Friday Night Lights, keep one foot in front of the other. Keep them shoulder pads down, baby. All right. Enjoy your Thursday, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.